Heidi-ho, YouTubers. I made a comment. I was watching a video about the massive wildfires they're having in Europe, in France and Spain right now. And I guess it's pretty nasty. 250,000 people or more have been evacuated. Um, and I made a comment about how I thought it has to be much worse in Europe because they're not used to wildfires. They're like we are here in the western U.S. Heck, if you're in uh, the Midwest or east of the U.S., you probably aren't as uh, exposed to wildfire as we are here in the West. I know they've had some big fires back there in Missouri and such this year. We have been on stage 1 fire restrictions. The whole county where I live has been on stage 1 fire restrictions. Oh gosh, since about the beginning of May, I think it was. Which means you can't smoke a cigarette outside. You can't have a charcoal grill going. You can have a gas grill, but not a charcoal grill. No flames of any kind. You're not supposed to be able to use a chainsaw because you might make a spark. I mean, it's been dry. And it is here. We live in Arizona in the high desert. Um, every year from probably May until, oh, middle to late July, the fire danger is highly elevated because we don't get any humidity, any precipitation during that time, and everything gets really dry. 3 days ago, we had a um, major rainstorm, uh, 4.2 inches in a little over an hour, and that brought the fire danger down a little. Um, a big tree with a trunk that's, a foot in diameter is going to take a long time to get humidity and moisture into all that wood. So I think they lowered the fire danger some, but uh, it's going to be a while before we get back to a low fire danger. Anyhow, on this video about Spain and France, I made a comment and said how I had fought fires. I was a firefighter, volunteer for 22 years, and how I fought some pretty major forest fires. I'll try to put some pictures in here if I can find them. Of a fire in 2002. Of course, I'm old. 2002, we had a forest fire in Deadwood, South Dakota. Big fire, 12,000 acres. It burned 2,000 acres the first afternoon. Um, and I fought that fire for several weeks uh, because I was a captain on the Deadwood Fire Department. Um, and we really thought we were going to lose our home. My brother-in-law this year, uh, he lives, I'm not going to say exactly where, but a ways west of Pueblo, Colorado, and the fire that they've had there, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it in text. Uh, they were evacuated. A lot of their neighbors lost their homes. Their house was spared, but everything around them is black as could be now. But they lucked out, and their home is still intact. Anyhow, a YouTuber with the YouTube name of Skylar90567, asked me a question, replied to my comment, and said, did I think that the excess fires that we're seeing all over the world now are related to global warming or something more nefarious? There's a combination of things going on, Skylar 90567. One, since, gosh, I don't know, the 1890s, 1900, the policy has been to put out fires as quickly as possible. And, before white men intervened, fires would burn through and they would burn off all the excess fuel. That's not the case now. And so the forests have a lot of excess fuel. Grasses and bushes and things. In the fire service, we call them ladder fuels because the fire will burn through in the grass and it can burn up and into the tree. And I don't know about juniper. We have mostly junipers here. I bet we have 40 acres, and I bet we have 3,000 junipers. Fir trees are actually a bit fire retardant. I've seen fire burn up the side of a fir tree and then go out because there's fire retardant in the bark of a fir tree. So yeah, there's a lot more fuel in the woods and in the forests than there used to be. And number two, it's not some lasers from the sky lighting them. It's just there are more people out here. Now some fires are lightning started, but there are more people living in the woods like me. And that means more idiots and people who throw a cigarette butt and start a fire that way or some dumb thing, One time we got the sheriff's department in near Deadwood to arrest a guy. He was burning an anthill in the middle of stage 1 fire restriction. Went out, poured gas on it, lit it up. We got the fire out and had him arrested for what the charge was, violating fire restrictions. Anyhow, we got more people, we got more fuel, we've got mismanagement. You take some of the big fires, and I'll give you 2 examples here. The Oahu fire in Hawaii a couple of years back. There were big pineapple plantations above Oahu that went out of business. And for tax purposes, they donated the land to the state for a nature preserve, right? So there's a grass called guinea grass that was brought into Hawaii for feeding cattle. And it got away from the cattle ranches, and it's everywhere now, and it grows like 8 feet tall, and then when it gets dry, it turns into this giant field mass of fire tinder. The fire in the Oahu Maui fire got into that grass, and it went like hotcakes right down into town. The state owned the land. They had the guinea grass on it and did nothing. Zero, zip, zilch. And had that guinea grass not been there, the fire would have moved a lot slower, or maybe it wouldn't have gotten down into town at all, but the entire town burned up. And people died, and I blame mismanagement. Um, California, the LA fire, Palisades. There's a reservoir just above Palisades that had been drained for maintenance. They were going to put a new cover over it, I guess. Uh, but it'd been empty for a year, over a year. And it holds 1.7 million gallons of water. And that water was not available to firefighters because normally the pipes run down and that water is accessible through the fire hydrants. But no, they drained the lake and left it because through the hottest, the fire season, and uh, that water was not available for firefighters. Of course, idiots are idiots, and there were a lot of fires additionally started in the LA area, Palisades, by firebugs, arsonists. Uh, and you got to watch for that. Now, here's what this will slay you, okay? And I'm not going to get into red versus blue politics, but the city of Los Angeles, wanting to be on the bandwagon with the Biden administration, had donated 100 fire trucks from just the city of Los Angeles, 100 fire trucks to Ukraine. And then they didn't have those fire trucks available when LA burned. So yeah, Skylar 90567. It's a combination of things that are making wildfires and forest fires seem more prevalent. And I don't really think there are any more of them now than there have ever been. It's just that they're bigger because of all this mismanagement and fuel and everything. And more people live in the woods now, so people are being evacuated more, and that hits the news. And I do not believe that there is something nefarious going on, because honestly, if the government had laser satellites starting fires from space, they're not capable of doing that because they're idiots. Politicians and bureaucrats can't find their own behind with both hands. That's my belief. So, yeah, I don't believe that it's, climate change, global warming. There's a guy, and I forget what his title is, paleo, so I don't know. He studies the weather patterns through tree rings, right? I was watching him the other day. And his contention is the 1900s, big trees, they've got trees, cores of trees that are 3,000 years, go back 3,000 years. And you can study that and figure out how wet a year is or how hot from the tree rings. Well, the 1900s were abnormally wet. Okay, this drought situation we've been in is more like historic normal weather for the western U.S. at least. And I expect we're going to have a lot more. This, what they call a drought, is not going to end. It's just going to keep going. Anyhow, if you live in the woods, mitigate the fire risk as much as you can. Do what you can. Call your local fire department. See if they have anybody certified to do a fire-wise inspection. and get them out and then do what they tell you to do. And in the meantime, we'll get through this.